Whoa! What the fuck is up, bitches? Hello. Howdy. How are you? Oh, my knees. I feel like, oh, that's why. If you put them. Sorry. Standby stuff. It's nice to see y'all. I don't know how long it's been since the last time. Fuck, and I forgot to check the date. I was gonna do that. Alright. And we're putting things down. Beautiful. Today's Saturday. Today's Adesanya versus Strickland, UFC 293, September. What the fuck is it today? The 9th. The last couple days, I've been like, what day is it? And I just keep telling myself, it's not the 11th yet. It hasn't been September 11th. It hasn't been September 11th. So, I've been like up in the air about the date. But it doesn't matter. It's nice to see you guys. Sorry for all the stuff that's not important. Come up here, Baba. Say hi. Come on. Come up. Say hi. He's big. I weighed him yesterday. He's like 12 pounds. And I love him. Isn't that right, Baba? I love you. I love you, my boy. I love you. I love you. I really do love you so much with all my heart. My little child. I've been in a good mood lately. And I feel like a big reason why is that I have been, say it, in touch with God, right? Let me turn this light on, maybe it'll help. And it's always so tricky because words never do things justice, or they're never as it seems. I say like being in touch with God paints a different picture than what it truly is, as opposed to what I think when I think being in touch with God, which is like in communication, I don't know, doing His will, whatever. Every time that I do get with God, I always realize that it's not what Greg perceives to be one with existence. It never is. And it's always so much better than what I think it is. It's like Greg's perception of the reality of existence or flowing is so limited that it is missing, honestly, an infinite amount of perspective to the image to understand the whole, and therefore it misjudges it because it thinks that, I think, that it's not the way it should be, when in reality, I am the one who is limiting what is possible. Therefore, stepping in front of God's flow to inject my own opinion of what I think is necessary or I should believe. And all that ever does is trip the flow of existence that I'm currently in, which is God's flow. Can you tell I just like fucking talking? It is nice to see you guys. I really don't know what the hell the last time, like where I was. I just know I was in a much worse place. And that's perfectly okay. to recount because I think it's been about a month or more. I came home from summer sales and I immediately felt like I had to leave this place. And then a rough month ensued where I did not have any aim or any drive. That's not true. I was working. I was doing the bare minimum, but I really wanted to rest because damn, summer sales kicked my fucking ass. So I took a month off. I didn't make no money, but then the bills started to stack up. I started driving Uber, which has gone well. To make some side money, I started donating plasma, which has gone well. And things generally now are better. It was really rough coming home because if you guys can remember, I told you guys I was so incredibly high. I was so high off of amphetamines and all this fucking garbage driving back home, that it did a number on my psyche. And the truth is that I just have had a very, very porn-filled month, and it's been very exhausting and draining, but at the same time I feel like I have been learning a lot, and I've been going through a lot and coming to understand a lot, and it's rough, but that's like the purpose of life, is to go through things that are hard or that you don't really feel comfortable with or you don't understand, or that's everything. You gotta jump with anything, and you gotta trust that you'll be able to manage whatever happens on the other end, you know. And so anyway, I've been growing a lot sexually. TMI, get the fuck out of my YouTube channel. Because this is my life, this is my goddamn diary, and I'm gonna spit the goddamn truth. Because that's all I do, that's all I fucking speak, baby. That's what makes me special, is that I do not feel comfortable fucking lying. Is that a lie? White lie shit? Even then, I don't feel comfortable with that kind of shit. It's like being straight. It's like a superpower. How hard is it to just be forward? You know what I'm saying? Say what you actually mean. God damn. Like, this got these, baby. Over the last month, I have slowly, I guess, is weaning when you completely stop something, or is that just when you slowly like roll back on something? But the medications, the amphetamines, after that month, or after that drive back, that I came back and watched porn all fucking night. I flushed all of my medication down the toilet, months worth, because I was like, I'm not gonna fucking deal with this for a whole goddamn month, because I always feel terrible after. Terrible. My body feels awful. And so I kind of dried myself out, and I was able to get my some old Vyvanse, because I've been switching between Adderall and Vyvanse, and that's been holding me over, but that stuff makes me feel terrible. Like, I just don't like the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel very dull, and I got very, say, addicted to the way that the Adderall made me feel, especially after having that much in my fucking system. And so it held me over for the month, and I slowly rolled back on it from a lot, to not as much. And I also want to say and give props to you, because it's easy to overlook, especially for me, somebody who is always very harsh on myself and doesn't give myself the recognition that I deserve. Just something I wanted to talk about. But throughout all this, I have been since the day I touched down in the house, looking for a job, and I've been doing all this very slowly at my pace. It takes me days, weeks to do shit, but I'm moving. I'm trusting that I can do it. That's what matters. And so anyway, I applied to lots of places, and long story short, I ended up getting a construction job, not working with, but a friend of mine, an old worker, co-worker, always posts snaps of his job, and so I just asked him where it was, what the deal was. And so I applied, and I called, and I told him give me an interview, and the lady's like, they usually look at applications on Tuesday, and if they want you, they'll call you. And I was like, give me an interview, and she was all like, that's not how it works. And I was like, okay, so Tuesday, and she was like, yeah, Tuesday. And then Tuesday came, and then nobody called me on Tuesday, and so I called them on Wednesday, and I was like, hey, yo, what the fuck? And I told them, give me an interview, and the lady said, hold on, and she gave me a boss, and the boss gave me an interview date, and I went in the next day, and I got the interview. It's for a laborer. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm following around a road paving machine with the shovel, and I'm doing the very, 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 very small things that the road paving machine can't do. The literal 95, I mean the 5%, the 10% that the machine does not do, is what I'm doing. And he said it's 21, and I said give me 22, and he said okay, and I said okay, and then I started working, which is good. Yay, I got a job. And that is a very, very, very brief summarization of of me getting a job this last month. Because goddamn, I mean, we all know job hunting. We all know how the fuck that goes. So, yeah, I got a job. Pays well. It's like around 10 hours a day, and it's helping me pay off the bajillion bills that I got. Which is the other point that I wanted to touch on about this last month, is that as I weaned myself off of taking excessive amounts of my medication, and I started taking normal amounts, I don't know, a flip just switched. A flip just switched. That's funny. My mother is an accountant, and she has helped me with my budgeting, because I'm terrible with my money, and she's great with money, and so she helps me put my money where it needs to go. And over the course of the summer, I have depleted all of my funds and put myself into debt, because sales does not pay all that much, especially when you have to pay $1,200 a month just for rent back home in a house that you ain't motherfucking living in. So yeah, it hurt the pockets, and I had to borrow money, and the accountant was not too happy about that, and so she told me that once I got out of debt, she would help me with my budgeting again. And I said, you know what? Fuck it, let's fucking do this shit. I'm a motherfucking man. I've never, you know what I learned over the course of the summer, and I think I've said this on the podcast before, but really, like, shouts out to Derek. Like, that's a blessing, you know, to meet him, because just being around him and his aura and seeing the way that he thinks about money really just put me on to the obvious thing that I guess not everybody knows, but to me wasn't so obvious, is that money does so much more than just buy shit. And you know, the biggest epiphany that I had, you know, over the course of the summer listening to him, was that when you have a lot of money, you are thinking really far in the future. And when you have no money, you are thinking about tomorrow. And I just realized that because for me, I go day to day. For me, it's about, do I have enough money to fucking go get Panda Express? Like, that's how it's been my whole life. That's all I've known about money. And just hearing the way that, you know, he works with his money along with being around Jake and Donovan and people that, you know, they're smart and they're building their own things and all that kind of stuff really makes me think like, damn, you know, just shows me I can do that kind of stuff. And so like I said, like, fuck it, let's get myself out of debt. And I got paid 2 days ago, finally. Fucking finally. And I'm very proud to say that I have been extremely responsible with my money, and not just the paycheck that I received, which was only for 3 days, a couple days ago. And I'm telling you, I got lots of bills I gotta pay, I got tickets I gotta pay, I got all kinds of stuff. I'm back the fuck up. But I was able to be responsible with my paycheck, and for me it's really hard to hold on to money, because if I have money, it's hard for me to trust that Greg in the future will have the discipline that is required to not spend that fucking money, because I don't always feel the same way. So I'm always really nervous holding on to money, because I feel like I'm gonna break it, drop it, or some shit. It's like a fucking baby. But I did the responsible thing, and I saw the bills that I had coming up in the next couple of weeks, or in the next week, and I paid them. And then I divvied up the money that I have to pay these fat ass fucking bills, and I dropped them in separate accounts, and I haven't touched them, and I'm broke. But I have money, but I'm broke. But I have money, but I'm broke. And this is power. That's what this is. This is power. And the more that I do this, the more that I will be able to trust myself with serious things, serious, responsible, big chunks of money and all that kind of stuff. But it's going well. And the medication really has helped. It has helped. I've been working a week and a half now. Monday was Labor Day, so 3 days. That first week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 31 hours. And then this week, Labor Day was Monday. Didn't get paid. Worked Tuesday to Friday. It's like 42 hours, something like that. But along with that, the money that I've made from donating and from driving Uber and stuff like that, I have been using that wisely, spending it on gas when I need to, or like I just donated yesterday, and I was able to open up a fund and start saving my my pocket money. That's what my mom calls it. I don't fucking have money in my pocket because I never have cash, but my spending money is what I call it, my entertainment. Anyway, I started saving that because I know myself, and when Christmas comes, I go fucking crazy. I just buy everything, and it's bad, and I don't have a lot of self-control, and I feel like a lot of it has to do with the weather outside. I just get like, things just get very dull and gray, and I just want some sort of fucking dopamine. So let me buy some shit. I want to spend money. Shiny thingy. So I spent a lot of money, and I have a bad habit of just like blowing big chunks that I randomly get on shit that I want but obviously can't afford, and just biting down on the bullet and suffering the consequences of whatever that entails of spending all that money and not using it wisely. Usually ends up in more debt. But I opened up a Christmas fund, which unlocks on like November 1st. Ooh, fun. That's when I'm gonna move. More on that in a second. I opened up a Christmas fund, and instead of outright buying a PlayStation 4, 5, I always get that fucked up. Outright buying a PlayStation 5 because I have made up my mind I'm doing it this Christmas. It's fucking happening. Because UFC 5 is coming out, and I haven't heard any word of it coming out on PS4, which would be stupid if they didn't. Because not everybody got a PS5, but I've also been wanting to get myself a PS5 for like almost 3 years. I don't even know how long it's been out now, obviously, since it's come out. But every year progressively, I'm like, bro, let's get one. And it's not even so much that I give a fuck about a PS5. In fact, I think that they look kind of ugly, if I'm being dead honest. I really like sleek. I like minimalistic, in the corner. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like dying to get a PS5, and I'm not a huge gamer either. But I love my PS4 with all my heart, just like I love Akuma, and just like I love Mercy. These things around me that I appreciate with all my heart, and I have tremendous gratitude for. They work very, very, very hard for me, and they hardly ever let me down. And my PS4 has been running for over 10 years, probably. I don't know the math, but it's probably over 10 years. And every time I turn it on, it sounds like someone's taking off into fucking outer space, and I just feel so bad. And I would really like to retire my PlayStation 4. Not fucking give it away or anything. I still have my PS3, but fuck. I mean, homie deserves a pension, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to stop fucking working him so hard and get a new console that can handle something as, you know, as basic as running Netflix and a game at the same time. I fucking love you. You know, I don't need to fucking apologize. He knows. But yeah, PlayStation 5, and I had the opportunity to just blow all my money and buy it, but we can't do that no more. We gotta get responsible. And to tie it kind of back, the medication has been the huge thing that has helped me do that. A month has passed, and I was able to refill my prescription for Adderall last week or this week. And I've taken a little bit in the mornings before work, increasingly, up until yesterday, where I took 40 milligrams, which is what I was taking of the Vibe Vance. And that's where I'm gonna leave it at, because that's what helps me for a goddamn 10-hour day in the goddamn sun. I've lost 12 pounds. 12 pounds. It was 170 or like 171, and I'm like 156 this morning. But in the last week and a half, due to the medication and then being out in the fucking sun all goddamn day, I got fucking bandana on and a hat on and a long sleeve and a fucking vest and pants and boots and socks and undies and facial hair and skin and bones and muscles and stress and pain. It's a lot. It's a lot to carry. I'm a strong boy. But they're talking about hot. I've lost a lot of weight recently. Can't remember. let it go. Anyway, it's nice to be back. Oh, that's something big. So yesterday I found out, and so I know to kind of follow up on what I talked about last time, where I was like, I need to move. I don't know where I'm gonna move to. Puerto Rico, South Carolina. I don't know what's up. So fast forward a month, and as of right now, my plan is to just say it. I hate putting things out into the universe because I feel like that just gives trust. I'm gonna stay in this apartment for 2 more months until November 2nd is the date that I plan to put into my notice online to my landlord, which I almost did yesterday, but they required my forwarding email address, and I don't have that, and I asked for it, and then I forgot to go back. So anyway, but November 2nd, so that way I can stay here for Halloween, just in case. And then I plan to move into Elijah and Brianna's house, into their spare room, and pay them significantly less rent than I'm paying here for November and for December, to the end of the year, because Reggie has convinced me. Great pitch, by the way, Reggie, because you really fucking did it. This was all you. She suggested that I find a place to stay for 2 months for cheap rent. And then she suggested Eli and Bree. Just because during Thanksgiving, I've kind of made it a tradition to go up to Idaho with Eli's family and hang out with them for the week, because they're festive, like to do shit. We get to drink, get to smoke, all the fun shit. And if I were to move to South Carolina, which was the initial plan, on November 2nd, instead of finding a new room for the last 2 months of the year, then I probably wouldn't go to Idaho, because that shit would cost hella money. It's gonna cost hella money to get to fucking South Carolina, and then Idaho is gonna cost fucking hella money to fly there and back. So I wouldn't do it. And so she suggested I find a place, and so I found a place, and so I'm gonna do that. And then at the end of the year, I plan to move to South Carolina. When it comes to all of the drama with the housing and who's gonna be on the lease and this and that, it sounds like things have kind of shaken out, and Derek is in serious talks about potentially, I think, buying the house or renting to buy or something like that. So, and I trust that. I mean, it sounds like Derek is ready to do this all by himself, which would mean taking care of the entire rent all by himself. And to be honest, thinking on it right now, like, if that gets done before the end of the year, giving it some time and being with Eli and Bree and letting that be kind of like, a trial to see whether or not he can handle that, which I don't doubt. I really don't think he can't not handle it, but we know me, I'm fucking precautious. And so just to see if he's really about his word, and if worse comes to worse, that I won't get stranded out in South Carolina or something bad will happen because of an issue with rent or anything like that. So yeah, if by January things are smooth and Derek will still have me, then I think I'm gonna move back. And a big reason why is because I found out, huge fucking news, Which I guess everybody knew but me because I left early. Not early, but early, yeah, like 3 weeks earlier than the apartment lease dates, but I wasn't in the apartments anyway. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I asked Kenzie yesterday if she was gonna go back next summer, because my plan was to go back to South Carolina and start teching, because teching sounds like it makes a lot of money and it's more stable hours, more stable pay, and I can start working on whatever it is that I want to work on, being around people that have their own shit, and so it inspires me to get shit done. But Kenzie said yeah, and she said, with the reps making 60% next year, like, I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, what the 60%? And so she fills me in, and I guess new structure, new regime, whatever. Homie Kale, pale ass homie, old rep, but very, very good. Of all the people that I met throughout the summer that like came and motivated us and helped us with our pitching and all that shit, he's the one that I was able to take the most from, because he was very like clear cut and to the point. You felt very safe buying from him, and so I was able to implement a lot of the things that he taught, and get a couple sales off of it. So, but I was never able to actually like talk with him or anything like that. He went and knocked with some other people. I requested that he knocked with me, but that was the day that he left, and so he couldn't. But anyway, I guess that guy's buying part of the branch or some yada fucking yada. He wants to pay people more to incentivize them, and so veterans that are coming back will get 60%. And I have asked a lot of questions in the last day of Donovan, but he's working, obviously. And so he said he'll send me the rubric that they broke down, because I went to him to verify, because I'm like, there's no fucking way. Because we were getting paid 25%. Like, 25%? Yeah, to break it down for you, I made 47 sales. I don't know how many of them have canceled. We have to wait until October to see. But, or I could check my app. I should check my app. But I did check my app, but my app says the same number, but I don't know if my app doesn't update or not, and there's a different way to check that I haven't checked yet, so I need to check that. But anyway, I made like 47 sales, 35,000 in revenue for the company. 25% of that came out to like 8K, and don't know if I explained this in the last one. Probably fucking did, because I think that last one was long as shit, just like this one's probably finna be long as shit. But all of that is going to repay my rent here and this debt that I'm in. So for me, it was all for the sake of gaining skills, learning, gaining confidence, taking big steps in life, and then helping, pay off my debt, because, that money was going to come for something, and so we're going to be responsible with it. There's no shame in that. There's fucking pride in that. So, but when that got confirmed, I whipped out the calculator and I did the math, and for what I generated in revenue this year, 35,000, if I were to gain 60% of each sale, that would have come out to like $21,000. 21K, nigga. 20K in 3 months, bro. 3 months. And that's if I only do as well as I did last year, learning the ropes, This year I should be better off. I feel like the big difference that would change coming back this year, I want to say if I'm coming back this year, but like the plan is to move there anyway, so it's not if I'm coming back, it's if I'm going to be a salesman or if I'm going to be a technician, because I have yet to decide. I don't have to work at this company if I don't want to. I'm going to move to South Carolina because I like the vibes there. I need to change my situation and I need to take another step in life. So this thing is not guaranteed. So I have there are options. And so but they're great options, and that's huge because the increase from rookies to veterans this year, the year that I sold, it went from 25% to 36%, and now it's 60%. For fucking 60% is, if I just hit the same mark I hit last year, 21K, and that's like 7K. I'm so excited to see my friends tonight and fucking talk with them and let them know all this shit. This is exciting. But 7K for a month, that's huge, and that's if I don't do better. It's so wild. And so I just have a ton of questions, and I haven't gotten any responses or any answers yet. But I should call Jake. That's what I should do. But yeah, super enticing, incentivizing. And when I heard that yesterday, I was like, well, fuck, because my plan was not to go back and sell. It was to go back and do the hybrid shit and tech and sell. And that's still, I just need to find out what's going to be worth more, just being a straight salesman making that 60, or if I'm going to be a tech, because techs can sell, and they get normally a higher percentage, but now I don't know. And so that's like a huge question I got to ask is like, are you guys raising the commission for the technicians too? Because fuck, if so, man, fucking strap my ass up in a backpack, bro. Oh my god. So yeah, I gotta call and get some information, but very exciting news, and a huge opportunity. And that, like, just hearing that yesterday really gave me a lot of I don't know, confidence. I just thought about it and I'm like, fuck, like, you know, people always give you those questions like, would you do this for $1 million? Would you do this for 50,000? Would you do this for $1,000? I'd do this for $20. Like, you're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was not planning on becoming a salesman again. Like, just because of the goddamn workload, it's just so much. Like, mentally, it's so draining, so exhausting. You have to be so sharp, so strong for that, like mentally. And I'm glad that I did it. You know, I'm glad I went through it. It helped me out a ton, but I didn't know if I was going to do that again, you know, especially when there's another option, which the entire summer just kept sounding like it was a way better deal, both physically, mentally, and financially. Like, you know, for me anyway, at the level that I'm at, because yes, you can always sell $1 bajillion your first year, but I keep it real, and that's not what happened. What happened is a good year for me, a year to be proud of, and it was a first year is what it was. And so yeah, that was the plan, was just to go with the better option and have a better life and start building off of that in a new place. But now I might be able to do the same exact thing and make sacrifices again for my summer, to grow, to upgrade myself, to, like, really just thinking about it yesterday, having that posed to me, like, you wouldn't go back for 36%, fair. Would you go back for 60%? Fuck, that's like a that's a real question. That's a real question. And yesterday, every time I would think on it, instead of backing down internally, it kind of got me excited a little bit, just a little bit, just a smidge. And I just started thinking, like, you know, I think I could fuck it, you know, I could fuck it up, like I really could. I could fuck it up, and I could earn tons of money, and I could save a lot, and I could, if I continue with this like financial, you know, responsibility that I desperately need to learn, and I really want to achieve. The sky could really be the limit. Like, this is a multiplier. This is great. This is literally like taking what Jake and Donovan do in Gross. Is it Gross? But like, now I have the opportunity to actually achieve those same numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like they're years in the making, and I have just been given like a fucking exponential multiplier on my fucking money. You know, that's a huge blessing. That's a massive deal. And again, I haven't gotten the rubric, so I don't know what rookies are getting paid, but Clarissa, what the fuck? Kenzie told me that the 60% is just for the vets. And so I did my hell week. I fucking went through it, and I went through it for my own reasons. Like, it definitely was not for the money. Never was. Like, I always had, you know, everybody always has aspirations, little dreams. Like, damn, it'd be fucking dope to walk out this bitch like you robbed a bank. But reality's reality, you know, and I'm really good at getting on board with reality, getting with that flow, understanding the purpose of things. And so I took the summer for what it was, which was an education, a learning, a growing. And I got that out the way, and I didn't just get it out the way, but I got it out the way for the right reasons, and now it feels like I'm being rewarded for all of my efforts and my sacrifices that I made. This is literally another door that is just presented to me, because obviously going back to cell was a door that was presented. 36% still goes a lot higher. I think instead of 8K, I would have made like, I don't know if I'm wrong, 15, I don't know, maybe 10, I don't know, I can't remember, but I would have made more, you know. It's still an incentive, but this is a real, like, this is an opportunity. This is a real, if this is real, if this isn't bullshit, if they're not getting me hyped up, which I put my faith and trust in Donovan that he would not do that to me. And like I said, it really sounded like Kenzie explained that at some point after I left, the owners and Kale, is that his name, Kale? Or Kale? I think it's Kale. We're changing the structure. They had dinner or whatever, and then they laid everything out to them, and then she said that she re-signed right there. And so, I mean, that sounds pretty fucking legit. Kenzie ain't no fucking liar that I know of. So like, that's real. Like I feel like because of my struggle and my sacrifice, and honestly my faith, because before I went during the summer, if you guys have been watching, you guys know that I was fucking, like, to me, this is just, it was a leap of faith, and I was really just hoping that when all was said and done for the summer, that something, like some opportunities would just come, that they would just show themselves, like doors, you know. I was just trusting that jumping and going through that experience would somehow take me someplace, you know. And I feel like I'm getting rewarded for it, because you know, since coming back, and since this last month too, because no joke, like, I don't want to stress it too much because, you know, it's all sensitive stuff, but man, like, the pornography problem mixed with the medication smoking and drinking and stuff like that for this last month was a really, really hard struggle. Like a really, really hard struggle. Boredom was the devil, for real. But going from that place where I was just so fucking goddamn high, coming back from my road trip, and then gradually, coming down. It went from really, really hard and like really just physically overwhelming and just too much mentally and too much just sexually and just it was just everything was just way too much. I was able to take that and through moderating and slowly developing this honest discipline that I could trust. That wasn't just me saying I want to feel different because I hate the way I feel now, but it was me knowing that there were certain places I didn't want to go in life, my medications really had me open to fucking everything and anything. And like I said, it's just fucking lessons left and goddamn right. Because the truth is, it helped me really get through like a lot of things that I feel like you would take years to get through in therapy, and would be extremely uncomfortable to make yourself vulnerable to somebody who you don't really know. Like, it would just be so hard to sift through and really address the issues, the complex, deep-seated, very like tangled and twisted and hard to follow roots that have been instilled since I was a kid. And being at that point in my head where I was so accepting and open to anything and everything, constantly reassuring myself that everything was okay, that God still loves me, that I still matter, that I'm not a terrible person, that I'm not doing anything wrong, that I'm being a human being. Like, those have been the mantras for this last fucking month, and I feel like they've really helped me be at peace with, I guess, who I am, because I feel like when I was that high and I was able to just accept things about myself, about who I am as a person and what I like and what I don't like and all those types of things, literally exploring, I just feel like I was able to get more comfortable with myself and really accept myself and really see myself more over this last month. And I've also been able to see more clearly where Greg's boundaries are, where Greg's lines are. A big issue I had over the course of the month is that, like, accepting that you like, certain things. I've told you guys I'm fucking bisexual and stuff like that. So, life, a struggle. But it's always a struggle. Acceptance and accepting. But just accepting who I am and accepting the love that I have, and over the course of the month, really seeing that Greg truly did not like going that low, like going just like being that, I don't know, I don't know how else to put it, sexually deprived. Like, I don't know what else you call watching porn all fucking night. I don't know what else you call that. But call it being really high. That's the fucking case. But yeah. But I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, the Adderall just helped me accept a lot of stuff, and gradually over the course of this last month, I have been able to, like I said, wean myself to a more stable place where I can use my medication properly as prescribed. Well, still, yeah, as prescribed. I mean, let's be honest. But it's helped, like my mood. It's helped me at work get through the days. It's helped me be financially responsible, and it has helped with my confidence a lot. It's rough, and this is another thing that I deal with a lot, that I equate to my porn problems, because I feel like solving these issues really has to do with letting go of my preconceived notions or my biases or my judgments towards these things, because the truth is that, like, none of it is bad, and I have just been taught that it's a terrible thing and that I'm a terrible person if I do it. Like, I really feel that way, like really, really deep down, little Greg feels that way, and I feel bad for him that that's the case. I've been seeing more clearly, like this week and last week, that like, damn, I really have been taught, just call it what it is, like, been taught. Because the truth is, when it comes to all these things, like, I tell my parents what I got from being in the church, and they're like, where the fuck did you get all that shit? Like, that's not at all. And I'm like, well, I don't fucking know. And so I'm always like, was I making shit up? Like, is it really me misunderstanding shit bad? Because I misunderstand shit a lot. Like, I'm not good at it, you know? I'm not good at, you know? Is that what it is? Or is it really like these things are fucking, you know? But I think that the but the key to my porn issue, and to my judgments on myself, and accepting myself wholly and all that kind of stuff, has everything to do with accepting and loving, as opposed to changing or fixing. Like, that is the change, that is the fix, is getting things out of my head that that things are terrible, or that you're a bad person for doing these things, because it's not the truth. And so that's what I've been learning over this last month, and I have been just developing a lot, and every day, every weekend that I would have would get progressively less intense. I would take progressively less drugs, alcohol, medication, smoking, vaping, gets progressively less and less, to the point where we are now, where I feel like it is getting a lot more manageable, and I am proud to say that I'm proud of myself for this last month, and I have developed a ton of confidence in myself because of this last month, because it was very hard, and I felt like I was in a very deep and dark place, and I felt like truthfully, like, bro, you're playing with your soul. Like, what are you doing, you know? And Greg showed me that deep down, the truth is that he doesn't want that, and that he wants better, and that he's willing to put in the work and have the discipline to be better. Which to me is like, bro, fucking badass. We all know, like, deep down, at the very core of like my inner child, the point of life is to be badass. That's the whole point. And you could be badass in however way you want to be badass, but to me, that's the fucking point. And that's fucking badass, bro. That's badass. So it's been a good month, and I hope that it continues. Well, I am scared, not scared, but, you know, worried. I'm always cautious that, you know, calms before storms, and things have been, you know, good recently, but you know, another reason I feel like that's been the case has been that I have been practicing gratitude a lot since I left. And I want to shout out to Donovan for that. I'll let him know in person too. But when I was really stressed out during the summer, the heat of the summer, in the middle of it, and he and I had a talk. At the end of it, he just told me that he wanted me to just spend 5 minutes the next morning just focusing on things that I'm grateful for. And I really hate homework. I hate it. But again, like the whole summer, I was really trying to humble myself. We're learning, you know. And I had been meditating on the diving board in the backyard already. I don't know if I had been doing it consistently when we had those talks, but I'd been, you know, accustomed to being out there in the morning and having a little ritual. So I just did that afterwards, after the meditation, and really since then I just kind of haven't stopped, because I found it incredibly effective at like changing my mood really quickly, without effort. That's what it was. Yeah, I just really noticed that, like, not even that it was like, oh, candies and rainbows and fucking everything's magical and namaste and I'm one with God, but I just realized that from the second I started, with all the stress and whatever, and like even after having meditated, you know, you still have some stuff on your mind, but you're usually in a calm, peaceful state. Even from that state, just sitting on the diving board and acknowledging, that's really what it was, an acknowledgement to God, because God is everything, and I am everything. And it just felt really good to appreciate. And it was really, like, it was so fucking easy, like, so easy. That's why I like it, because it seems like a get rich quick scheme, but it actually works. Like, it's a really quick way to just fucking flip a switch. And like I said, it's not like rocket fuel. It's not like you're happy for the rest of your life, but there's a change, you know. And yeah, chemically, whatever, but I like to think spiritually, you know what I'm saying? Aura-wise, vibe-wise, frequency-wise. It's such an easy way to just fucking heighten it, you know what I'm saying? It's so simple. Like, I am grateful for my fucking camera. I'm always grateful for my cell phone. Like, without it, what the fuck would I do? I'm grateful for my laptop. You guys can't see it. This is sitting on top of it, and there were a bunch of bills on top of it. That's why I haven't been making eye contact with the camera, because I keep staring at the damn bills. So I shifted them. But I'm really grateful for the laptop, because I got the laptop to make music, and now I have access to make music. On top of that, I can access games through fucking Steam, and I can use MAME. What a fucking blessing! Like, so easy, so simple, and it really just helps you think on the bright side. And so that's an exercise that I've been doing both when I'm happy and when I'm stressed, since whenever me and Donnie talked, which was probably like middle of July, end of July, no, 3 weeks, end of July, no, 4 weeks, end of June, whatever. And it has really helped a lot. And it's helped me stay positive, especially like through this last month where it was really dark, and I went through a lot of stuff, by myself, and a lot of figuring out, and a lot of deciphering, and all that kind of stuff. And it just really helped to acknowledge all of the fucking blessings that I have around me, that I am constantly just being like bombarded with. That's funny. Wow. That's a trip, huh? Because I used to say all the time that being alive felt like being waterboarded by consciousness, which is what it is. That's what the fuck it is. It's like, I don't get how people's heads don't fucking explode with all this shit that they have to fucking process. But 1 year later, a different attitude later, different perspective later, and the truth is also, because they're both true, but I'm being waterboarded by blessings 24/7. How do I not fucking die of a love explosion? Like, I'm safe. I'm in my own place. I've made it mine. It's homely. I have a pet. He's not only adorable, but he's fucking obedient and extremely loving and grateful. Like, damn. It's just hard not to fucking appreciate. And I feel like it has helped me out a lot, and it's helped me really become closer to God, dead fucking ass, because that's all I'm doing is appreciating God. That's all this is around me, just seeing it, seeing Him, seeing the flow, the energy, like being, and allowing God to really use you as an instrument of flow, of time. And it's fucking easy. It just makes it easy, because I am this, and if I appreciate this, I'm appreciating myself. It makes me appreciate my own life, the blessings that I have. So that's fucking cool. That's cool. And that's another huge change that has not unearthed itself, what's a better word, revealed itself. I want to find a better word. Not excavated, not sifted, like it just shows itself. I don't know. You have to find it. You have to go looking for it, because it's a diamond that's in the rough. But yeah. So, I think that's it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else dramatic that has happened. I feel like I'm pretty caught up. I'd like to start making music with M. Have a podcast with her soon. and just start making music in general. But I mean, I'd also like to have a fight too. Oh, that's another thing that I didn't even bother to mention from the jump, is that I just went to MMA class at a place called Sierra Mixed Martial Arts in Sandy. Um, Coach invited me. Sent a message last night. I saw it this morning at like 9. And this was after a long night. But in over the course of the time being here, and like I told you guys, what summer sales taught me a lot is like mini games. It just, like, now I see them everywhere. And so, coach invites me to him, and I'm like, bro, you gotta go get that working, especially since starting this new job, working 7 to 5, 7 to 5:30, 7 to 6 usually, 7 to 5:30 usually, 7 to 6 every once in a while. But it's also 45 minutes in the mountains, away from my house, and so I haven't been able to go to boxing since I started this job, and I don't think I will be able to. But like last week on Sunday, coach invited me to sparring at our gym, and I thought it was boxing, so I showed up with all my shit, and it was kickboxing, and so we adapted. I felt bad because I had long toenails, and I was very insecure about it. It was like kind of grossed out, but I was like, nobody told me that we were fucking kickboxing. I didn't think to clip my shit. And so every time like I throw a head kick or something like that, I remember there was one kick that I threw. I think it was at Jeff, and it my toe almost got him, and I was like, ooh, and I was like, bro, that's embarrassing, because obviously people would notice that. Anyway, I accepted that mini game, and I had a lot of fun. That sparring was different. There were a lot of people, and it's more of a MMA sparring, which is more of like a leveled pace. I'd say going 30 to 60%, and every round you just switch with people, and so it's not an official get in a ring. Coaches recording, you ready. Everybody's just going, and you just keep going for the whole class. And I did that, and I ended up having a round with everybody, I believe. One person, I think. Yeah, except for one person. I can't remember who it was, but there was somebody that I don't think I did. Was it Stella? No, I sparred Stella. I think I sparred with everybody. But it was a lot of fun, and I felt like it was enjoyable, and I was good at it. And it gave me confidence to, keep pursuing MMA related, activities, to go out of my way to do them. And so coach texted me this morning and said MMA, and I said, let's do this shit. And so I went, and I did well. I actually did well, and I enjoyed it again. Yeah, I think coach recorded, because it was the same deal. Everybody's fighting everybody, rounds and rounds and rounds. But I was trying my best to be really humble, to learn. I was not throwing hard. I was trying to be really respectful, because I feel like that's, again, my power. It's just, that's how I diffuse egos and attitudes. And because with fighting, you'll catch a lot of that shit, especially when you're in somebody else's gym and shit like that. I'm just so overly fucking kind and fucking nice, and just so fucking dead ass, fucking just, yeah. Just so that you and I both understand, we ain't got problems, because I'm good. Can I say I'm good? Can I even say that? That's not, I feel like shit like that is not for me to say. That's for other people to say. But I'm good. And so anytime that I've gone to other gyms, I feel like it's easy for things to get out of hand, because I'm good, and Then other people are like, all right, time to turn it up. And I'm like, no, 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 no. We're not going to start fucking trying to kill each other, okay? You're going to give me back. We're going to go at a controlled pace. I'm going to take care of you. You're going to take care of me. I'm going to go home with my head, and you're going to go home with yours. But it was really enjoyable, and I got like shit. My fucking chest was burning by the end of that shit. It was fucking. So we started off like kickboxing rounds and stuff like that, and it went well. And then towards the end, the coach said, if you have MMA gloves, grab them. I was like, oh shit, because I've done MMA rounds before, but I was thinking on it coming home. All the MMA rounds that I've done have been like controlled. It's all been with like friends, and so I know you don't have to be nervous. Or it's been with sparring partners like Darian, who I know is not gonna like try and kill me. Or it's been at my gym, or just like very like safe, precautious measures that had me feeling like I could be vulnerable trying to learn MMA and all that kind of stuff. But this was a different situation because these guys were good, and the sparring, like I said, the sparring that I had for the first, it was an hour long, and we went the entire hour. I think they would go for like 2-minute rounds, or maybe it's 3-minute rounds. I couldn't tell. But then and then a 30-second rest or a minute rest, and then you go again, and then you go again, and you go again till the end of the class, because it was just sparring. But I probably got in like 3 or 4 MMA rounds, and I was super nervous, and like I was saying, sorry, I keep jumping back and forth. You guys can tell I'm scatterbrained, but the Muay Thai rounds, the kickboxing rounds went well, and I was able to control myself and keep myself defensively sound, and I didn't get clipped or anything like that. And I kept telling myself, like, you got to try and learn, so because you get comfortable with your hands, and I was able to tell that my hands are much more developed than most of the people in there. But they all had a lot more skills in MMA, kicking, grappling, all that kind of stuff, jiu-jitsu. So like I said, extremely humble when I was in there, and I was trying to be very cautious. But I was telling myself, you came here to learn MMA. We want to be an MMA fighter, god fucking damn it. So let's fucking learn it. It's okay if we mess up. And so I threw kicks and stuff, and it went well, and nobody went too hard. And then we did MMA. I grabbed my MMA gloves, and we started, and I was just really nervous. But it went well, and I'm trying to even remember. Can't remember who the first person is that I went with. Oh, I think it was a coach, and was it the coach? I think it was the coach. I don't know. Who gives a shit what order this is in? But I sparred the coach who was just running the class. He was the one instructing us, and he was probably 145, something like that. But it went well, and he was a little shorter. But I got some decent stuff off, and I stayed safe, which was my priority. And coach told me after everything was said and done, and when Ben and I were talking in the parking lot, he told me that guy is a champion of Fierce at 135, and then Ben said that he just recently lost, but that fucking champion, bro. That dude's a champion, which was cool. It's always, I think I've talked about it before. Whenever coach tells me shit like that, I'll spar somebody, and then he's like, "This is that person." I'm like, Oh shit. Okay, cool. um, but that went well, and then I sparred a guy. There was a guy named Braden. I can't remember. I'm bad with names, so I'm kind of proud that I remembered that. But he had a left shoulder and a little bit of his bicep, um, and then he was missing the rest of his arm. Was it his left? I didn't even pay. I didn't even realize. I don't know if it was his left or his right. Um, but we went, and I was doing well with him, and the coach of that place, not the coach that was teaching the class, but the like overall coach, I think, or the owner. Maybe that's who he was. The owner, white guy, glasses, almost bald, white hair, rash guard on. You have a rash guard on? Maybe I'm just painting a picture, but I could tell that he was watching me. Before I went with Brennan, I went with another kid who was, and I could tell he's an MMA fighter, and he's had fights before. He was tall and he was lanky, so I didn't do a bunch. I just tried, like I said, to stay safe. Like that's been my objective since getting back. I can talk some more about that in a bit, but that's been my objective since getting back, has been being really safe, because honestly, like, this is something I want to go back into, and I don't want to lose my train of thoughts coming back. But the medication has helped me so much in boxing to just fucking learn. Like, really, like, coach in the last month and a half has been teaching me shit, and I have actually been like doing it and fucking practicing it. And when I go back into class, it's not just like it used to be, where it was just like, I don't know, just fucking hit the heavy bag. Like, don't try anything, because what's the point in repeating a punch 50 times in one class if you're not gonna do it every fucking day for the rest of your life? What the hell is the point of 50 punches? Why try to sharpen that if it's like, that's the way that my mind works. I'm like, if you don't do it like a trillion times, then what the hell is the point of doing it like 10, 20 times? What the fuck's the point? But that attitude has changed, and I've been like able to, again, very slowly, because I love you, coach. You know how to. We're getting so much better at calibrating, and you're probably the best person I have around me that is able to teach me the best way that I can learn. And it's taken years for us to get to this point, but we're at that point where, like, he knows how to teach me the way I need to be taught, which for me is very slowly and very, like, precisely, defined, and just easy to digest, understandable. And it took time to get there, but we got there. And I've just been able to really, like, this last month and a half, and I really think that it has been because of the medication, just been able to focus and really, like, apply myself when I go to class, and like work on something I've been working a ton on since I came back, has been my fucking tucking my chin in my shoulder. And I'm like not really even trying to do like a whole Philly shell thing. I'm just trying to keep my shit safe. That's all I'm trying to do. And yeah, really, like, the medication just helps me, like, just focus, and like, it's like studying, it like helps me actually fucking like study, and like keep practicing and repeat things, and drill things. I've been like, I started drilling little steps just by myself, like all throughout class, instead of just blowing on the bag, fucking going ham aimlessly. Like, I've been like, no, just repeat these steps over and over again on the bag, to the point where normal people would be fucking bored out of their mind. But I have the capacity to fucking really focus and try to improve and all that kind of stuff. And so I've been able to learn. So it's not even learn so much. It's like I'm actually allowing coach to teach me shit. That's what this is. It's like I started allowing coach to actually like teach me things. And so I'm getting better, a lot better. But back to what I was saying about MMA, can't remember. But Oh yeah, I was going with the tall, lanky guy, and I've been working on staying safe. So that's what I did, and I didn't poke the bear too much. I hit him a couple times, and he was like, "Be careful," and I couldn't tell if he was telling me like, you're getting close to the groin, or if he's like, "Bro, I'm gonna turn up on you." The ego thing, like I was telling you. But like I said, humble, and so I just backed off and fucking danced and kept safe and all that kind of stuff. And then I went with that Brendan Braden guy. Sorry, I can't remember the name, but he was really cool. And it's kind of hard because, like I said, he was missing an arm, and he was a little shorter than me. Probably weighed like 170 or something like that. Beard, white guy. I don't know if his beard was like red, but not ethically, morally, ethically. I don't know. You just don't want to like go ham because the dude's missing a fucking arm, for real. Like he'd put a glove on it, but I don't think he ever threw it. Not that I can remember. But he had good grappling and stuff like that. But in those types of situations, I'm getting better at just being like, bro, like he's here to learn. He's here to fight. Like I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast, but something I used to bring up in therapy is that I mentally it's a dilemma for me to like beat on somebody, really, like especially when it's something like that, when they have a disability, but at the same time it's like they're in there to beat on my ass. They really if they get the chance, they'll knock my fucking shit out. They'll head kick me to fucking oblivion if they get the chance. So I've been getting a lot better at just like being controlled. I'm telling you, medication has helped me a lot. And I always feel so fucking guilty about it. Because it feels like I'm cheating. I just feel like these are like I'm getting help that just I shouldn't be getting. Like I'm getting help that other people aren't getting, especially in boxing. Like that's how I feel. It's like I'm getting help that other people aren't getting. And then I want to say, but like, yeah, but I'm deficient in places. Like it's hard for me to even fucking learn or to focus or to like stick to a simple task that coach tells me or something like that. But then I'm like, yeah, but you were born that way, so why not like figure that shit out? Everybody else figures it out. People have their own struggles and they get in there and they fight and they don't need fucking help, assistance like that makes them better. It's a big dilemma that I have. But really, just like this summer and this last little bit being here and kind of just accepting this last month and a half to like, I should keep taking medication even though I don't want to. It'll help with work, it'll help with my finances, especially now that, shit is fucking for real, and I'm really in debt and all that kind of stuff. Like, I gotta do what I gotta do, and that means being responsible and taking something that, even though I may not love that I have to take, really does help me where I really need help in my life, because it really does in those areas. It's a rough one, but it's eventually I'll get to the point where I can really acknowledge my own efforts, because none of this happens without me moving. I could take all the medication in the world. If I don't decide to get the fuck up, nothing's gonna happen. And I've been putting in a ton of work and growing a ton, and just like literally a fucking Michelangelo statue. I've just been carving and shaving away, and like I still don't even know what the fuck I'm building, but I'm just letting God guide my hand, and and it's fucking taking time, but it's gonna be made out of marble, and it's gonna be beautiful. Whatever the fuck it is, I'm trusting whatever it is. The ultimate artist, the flow, life itself. Let it use me. Let me be it. And let me produce or be that which I am, which I always have been, which is unmistakable, uh, for anything else, because of the fact that it's so fucking pure. That's what my sculpture is. So it's exciting, and I'm trying to trust it. I'm trying to just learn to just trust, go with, and enjoy. So I wrestled that guy, and I was doing well. The coach with the glasses, I could tell he was looking at me and shit. And the tall kid, like I said, he was good. But at the very end, right before the bell rang, I hit him with the 1-2 head kick. Like I told you, I was really like reserved, which I keep sidetracking, but again, I want to give credit to the fucking Adderall, the fucking medication, the fucking amphetamines, the goddamn Vyvanse, the fucking pills. Oh, I want to give credit, and I feel like I'd love to have the credit be for me, but it's so hard to take the credit when I feel like I'm getting aid. But anyway, I have been able to like just be so controlled with my power and with my shots compared to when I'm just throwing on my own, like so accustomed to hurting people accidentally or hitting people too hard, apologizing all the time because I'm like, that was too hard of a shot, or I'll counter because I'm like, lots of times I'll be focusing on a shot so much and I'm like, okay, try to land this, try to land this, try to land this, and then they do something and I fucking throw to land it, but I'm so focused on landing that shit that I'm not paying attention to the goddamn not the volume, the power of the shot. And so I'll fucking crack them, and I'll be like, shit, I'm sorry, I was not paying attention to that. It's hard for me to explain that to people. It's like I wasn't paying attention to that. And now, over this last month and a half that I've been back home, I've like really been able to just like focus, like really just focus on my shots, on not hurting people, on being safe, on practicing, on like really just trying to improve, like dead ass. Like it's something I didn't even think about, but for the first time in like, I don't know, let's be honest, like probably like half a year or something. And that's not me recalling anything, that's probably just me forgetting, half a year I probably did it ago. But it feels like longer than that, that for a couple rounds I really stood in front of the mirror instead of like shadow boxing in the ring, because I always like doing that because I feel like it gives me a good feel of being in the ring and fighting. But shadow boxing in the mirror, and it helped me really just tighten my shit up, and just like I was like, I've never been able to just focus on my fucking form in the mirror and tighten shit and look at how my shit throws and all that stuff. Like never had the patience, never had the mental capacity to fucking focus and really just the minute, the really, really small, intricate things that most people are not even aware of, that really, really matter, that most people don't have the patience or the skill to define, And I've been able to focus on those things, which has really helped improve my game. So I wrestled the guy, and we had a good round, and with the kid, so 1-2 head kick, right? But I pulled my kick, and I got that shit right over his head, over his arm. But he acknowledged it was clean. Like that was clean. I'm glad I pulled it too, because I could have still hit him with it like lightly, but I like pulled it right before. I was like, I got you. But I felt like the coach of that gym was impressed because he was watching that. And then after that, I started going with the dude missing the left arm, and the coach started recording me go with him. And like I said, I did well, and we wrestled a little bit, which is always the nervous, like that's the part that I'm obviously the most nervous about with the MMA, and like hopping in there at a new place is like, that's where I'm deficient, obviously, is the wrestling, really deficient. And so I can, my issue isn't even so much that like, oh, I can't wrestle, it's the fact that I'm still so much in a striking mindset, because that's all I do is throw hands, that when I start MMA, it's so hard for me to remember that there's more dimensions to this, and if I want to, I can take them down. And then like trying to find openings for that and trying to be smart about those things. Like, again, it's like me when I started, and I was like, you got to throw kicks. We're here to learn things, you know. And so MMA, there's so much fucking going on that I often get lost in the striking, and I forget that there's other dimensions that people can exploit that I need to tighten up, or that I need to start sharpening and progressing. Like takedowns and stuff, I never throw takedowns because my knees fucking, they hurt, patellar tendonitis, and it hurts to touch my knee to the ground. But if I never fucking practice that stuff, I'll never know where the entries are. I'll never, it's like I'll be blind to a language that everybody else is speaking besides me, you know. And so I got to practice that stuff. And so it was getting good ground game. It was good getting ground time, and getting experience doing that, and getting my mind more comfortable melding the sports together more fluidly, because I feel like I can get to that point where I could be deadly fluidly through MMA, from wrestling to jiu-jitsu to striking to all that kind of, like, I feel like I could really get sharp and quick and have my mind think in multiple different lanes, and be able to connect different combinations and all that kind of stuff more fluidly without wow, it's a lot like a language, you know. When you're learning a language, you initially start by translating that language in your head, from English to whatever language you're speaking, Spanish, right? And it doesn't come fluently, but over time your mind is able to just produce thoughts in that language, as opposed to converting your thoughts and your ideas from one language and trying to find the proper words and verbiage to fracture together this bridge from what you mean to what can be understood. So but yeah, so I got done wrestling that guy, and that coach stopped recording, and then I went with this kid, and I was not planning on recounting all of this, but like I said in the very beginning, and it doesn't matter anyway because nobody's watching, but I like to hear myself talk, and that's obviously what's happening. This is my therapy, and it's been a month, so fucking deal with it. The next kid that I went with looked like he was maybe like 18, 19. Looked like he weighed like 140. I can't remember his name. It was like Rubio. It wasn't like Rubio. He looked like he was Hispanic, but not like Mexican. I can't remember where it looked like he was from. But I could tell the kid had experience. It looked like he had fights under his shit. And I had sparred with him earlier in the hour when we were doing Muay Thai. And like I said, I'm overly kind and fucking, I just want people to know I'm not a threat. Do not. So I feel like sometimes people look at me, and because I got resting bitch face, or because I'm in my own fucking space, or because I'm bipolar or whatever, that people will look at me and make judgments like that dude's an asshole, or he's a piece of shit, or whatever. And so I try to go out of my way to show everybody that I'm a kind person, because I am, and I like for people to know it, so that way I feel comfortable being around them, and they feel comfortable being around me. Unless it's somebody who is uncomfortable being around somebody who's overly kind, in which case that is not my problem anymore. That is on you. Fix that shit, because I'm not doing nothing to harm you. That's on you, my brother. So it's guilt-free for me, because love is love is love is love. And so however you receive that, or however you deal with love that's put into your hands, is no longer my issue. That's on you. But off of that, this kid did not want any of my love. He just looked like kind of a hard ass. And like I said, he was a little bit smaller than me. Like, I'm like 156 right now. He looked like he could probably be like 135. Let's be dead honest, 135 to like 145 or whatever. But like I said, I could tell the kid fought, and he had a wrestling T-shirt on from like high school or something. But when we sparred and did Muay Thai striking, I like talked, tried to introduce myself and whatever, and he was cordial and said hi, but that was it. And then it went to real serious mode, and we sparred, and that was one of those situations where I told you I'm good too, And so when I get in situations like that, like with the tall dude too, it's like the tall dude was talking to me and he was telling me, I'm a boxer too and this and that. I'm like, okay, cool. That's why I'm gonna be safe, because I'm not, like I said, humble. I'm not trying to pick no fights. I'm trying to learn. I'm not arrogant. I'm not trying to take up no space, because then there's no space for me to learn anything. So let arrogant people be arrogant and let their cup be full. I'm going to take advantage of my humility and fucking soak in as much as I can, which is why I want to make friends with everybody, so I don't have no enemies, so I can learn as much as I fucking can. But anyway, we sparred. I did well. He did well too. He did do well. But that was one of those that kind of got turned up just a little bit. And my coach ended up telling me in the end that that he was one of those kids he was kind of worried about. Not because of anything bad. It's like the same way he worries about me. And he said with Ben too, because me and Ben will sometimes crack people by accident, we're still working on power and control, and I guess that kid is kind of the same way, but because he's younger, I just got the vibe that he's more down to like throw down and all that kind of stuff. So coach said he was kind of worried about me and Ben going with him, but he said that we did a really good job being controlled. But anyway, I got done wrestling with the guy, and then I had a round with that kid. And when that round started, he pulled his phone out and he gave it to a dude. And he was like, "Can you record this for me?" And the dude was like, "Okay, cool." And I was like, "All right, obviously, what else does this look like besides, all right, he's trying to show off." So again, I would just stayed calm and reserved, very protective, very reserved. Doesn't matter if nothing's happening or if they're throwing a bajillion shots. If I'm staying protected, there's nothing I need to worry about. I can stay as calm as the fucking eye of a storm. That's really what it is. It's the eye of the storm back here. But yeah, I just didn't let it get to me, and like I said, the medication just really helps me. Like it just helped me calm, not just calm, but just like accept and not be so nervous, and be willing to try things and really, like, I don't know, just like give my all to things and not be scared of failing or doing terribly or anything like that, and so I did a good job. But we did the MMA round, and it started, and he kicked and punched me a little bit, and I kicked and punched him a little bit, and then he shot for a takedown, and he got on top, but then I got a sweep on him, and I flipped him over, and I just held him there for probably for 30 seconds of the round, just because I was trying to find a smart way to continue to advance without losing the position, because I had his head under here, and I had his arm over here, and then I had his other arm over here. So I had him like this on his back. So essentially pinned, pinned. Had him pinned to the ground. That's what it was. So his hands were like this. But I was thinking about getting into mount, but I didn't know if I could do that from staying in that position, and I just didn't want to lose it. Anyway, I'm overthinking this now because I'm thinking at the time I was like, damn, I really should have gotten a mount and then just tried to like stabilize and then get some punches off from being in mount. But I was just too nervous, and they were recording, and the coach with the glasses was sitting there staring at us. But anyway, yeah, I flipped him over. I flipped him over, and then the dude with the camera's all like, "Are you sure you want me to record this, bro?" And that's when I held it because I was like, I don't want to lose this, you know. But on the drive back home, I was all like, take it easy on yourself because you did a good job and you didn't know, and now we know, like, for next time. Because I'm sure people in fights have that all the time where they're like, fuck, like, even though they did a good job and they, you know, potentially won, they're like, damn, I really could have taken advantage of this, but I didn't at the moment, and, you know, it's like a missed opportunity, but it's learning experience, you know. At least this one didn't cost me no money like it would in fucking South Carolina. Expensive ass lessons, but you learn them bitches quick, don't you? But yeah, and then after that happened, we got back up because the coach told us to break after I didn't do shit, and then we kept going. And then towards the end of the round, I think he shot again, and the bell like rang for like the 10-second mark or whatever, and I was sinking in a darce, like I had underneath the chin, and I had my arm over this way, and I was like going for a choke under the chin, and I was like, fuck it, bro, just throw a darce. And so I started scooping up under the arm, and I got it into the pit of my arm, and so I slowly started sinking, and then it beeped. But I think I would have been able to get it. It would have taken me maybe like 20 seconds to really like squeeze and slowly sink everything in before I could start twisting and turning. But I think I would have been able to get it. So but yeah, and when that round was over, I was super humble. And whenever people continue to give me attitude, or they're still emotional, or still got their ego or whatever, especially after sparring, because it happens, you know, people can get heated or, you know, whatever, I will be overbearingly, annoyingly kind to that person to a point where it's sarcastic. But I just want them to know excessively that don't go picking fights with me. Don't go talk all the shit you want or whatever, but no, I'm a cool dude. So if you got issues with me, they're on your side. They're absolutely not on mine. And so I don't give a fuck. And when I see you, I'm gonna be kind and, hey buddy, how's it going? Like those guys at the gym. You guys remember, if you've seen any of my other episodes, like those guys at the gym that like, they're always there. They got their own huge friend group, and you know, and I always feel like I'm always getting like stared at or whatever. And I've tried talking with them, and I don't know. I feel like I always get looks. I know how it feels to get looks. Like, I'm not crazy. It ain't me no more. I know what it's like to not be here no more, and I know what it's like to be back here. And I know now, like, when I get those looks from people, those like look at me and look away and this and that, like, I have accepted that is a Utah thing, and that's because these people are socially fucking awkward. Like, it's them. It's a them thing, not a me thing. It's like for whatever reason, it's like they've been whipped to like not acknowledge you or to pay attention to you or anything like that. Like, making eye contact or acknowledging another human is a fucking bad thing. Like, you're not supposed to do it. It's not the cultural norm. But since like seeing that, being back and having the whole summer, you know, having to fucking develop a character and then protect it over the course of the summer from getting stepped all over by people that don't want me there, I was able to I just don't let shit slide. And so anyway, the kid wasn't I kept trying to be gracious with him, and the kid was kind of like brushing me off his shoulder, and so I just kept pestering him, being gracious and gracious and gracious, just so that again he could know, like, don't, like, I am what? That sounds arrogant to say, but like it's the truth. I'm not the one to be fucked with, but I'm not also like putting that message out there. I'm not, the fact that I am so kind and so loving and so humble and accepting should tell you that I'm not the one to be fucked with. That's what you should get from that. That's what I'd like people to get from that. As opposed to putting it on like I would in high school and trying to show people, don't fuck with me. I'm a tough guy. I don't care about you, man. I'll beat your ass. Blah, blah, blah. Now I'm just like, I love you. I love you. Because this is the truth. And I love that about myself. I really do. I mean, for fucking real, I absolutely love the fact that I have the emotional intelligence that I have, and that I really see I see life through the lens that I do. Another huge thing over the course of this last month and a half is just like the awakening. For me, I took LSD and I was awakened to the fact that I am everybody and everybody is me, and we are all God, and God is, and existence is God, and just all the fucking fun shit. And again, trying my best to just flow with God's plan and let life happen the way it's going, and trust in Greg, and just literally getting myself closer to God's frequency has really, really helped me over the course of this last month. Sorry. Uh-oh.